Let's start. So today we'll continue our discussion with clinical pathology. In the last class, we had discussed about some disorders of hemoglobin and what disorders can falsely show increase or decrease in hemoglobin levels. As in what disorders hemoglobin level will falsely increase or decrease even though there is no actual increase or decrease. Okay. Now, in this class, we'll start off with conditions that are actually causing change in um, hemoglobin levels. Specifically, we'll look at diseases where hemoglobin levels are raised. Right. So इसमें बहुत सारे आते हैं. We'll talk about some of the common ones. First of all, we have COPD. Patients who have chronic obstructive airway diseases, whether it be emphysema, bronchiectasis, whatever part of COPD they do have, उनके अंदर क्या होता? Because they are not able to breathe properly, their body starts churning out more and more amount of hemoglobin as a compensatory mechanism. COPD patients, obviously, they are not able to breathe properly because their lungs are being severely damaged. As a result, whatever amount of oxygen that does come into their blood or does enter into their body is very low. So what your body tries to do is, as a compensatory mechanism, it will think that okay, there might be a problem with hemoglobin, that is why cells are not getting oxygen. So as a compensation, it will start increasing the amount of hemoglobin in your blood. That can be one condition. COPD की वजह से हो सकता, या फिर it might be heart disease. Sometimes congenital cyanotic disease of heart में भी होता, और कुशिंग्स की वजह से हो सकता, कुशिंग्स syndrome. Cushing's is a disease in which the patient has a increased amount of cortisol production. More than normal or abnormal amount of cortisol is being produced. And whenever cortisol is very high in the patient's body, one manifestation does appear, and that is polycythemia. Manifestation of Cushing's. So polycythemia essentially refers to increase in both, increase in RBC, WBC as well as platelets. Okay, all the three elements of your blood will increase in number. That is polycythemia. Polycythemia vera भी बोलते हैं उसको. So that happens because of increased amount of cortisol. या कभी कभी let's suppose the patient has renal cell carcinoma. Renal cell carcinoma में क्यों हो रहा? If you remember, kidney is responsible for production of several things. One important hormone that it produces is called erythropoietin. Erythropoietin is responsible for you know, inducing or production of hemoglobin and inducing and production of RBCs as such. Okay, it will help in the formation of um, RBCs. Essentially, any elements of RBCs and stimulation of your bone marrow is done by erythropoietin. Erythropoiesis occurs with the stimulation of erythropoietin. Now, whenever someone has renal cell carcinoma, there is ectopic secretion of erythropoietin. There might be a chance that the cells that are secreting erythropoietin, the juxtaglomerular cells and the other cells that are responsible for production of erythropoietin, they the tumor that is being formed in carcinoma, that might be of this origin, and as a result that tumor might start producing erythropoietin as such. Increased amount of erythropoietin will increase the amount of hemoglobin in a patient's body. Arey, in the last class I asked you what is the organ that is responsible for the death of RBCs. Did you find out which organ is called the graveyard of RBCs? Okay, it's spleen. Spleen is called the graveyard of RBCs.
Spleen.
All right. Now, other than this, there is another condition called smokers polycythemia. Smokers में polycythemia होता as a compensatory mechanism. Smokers polycythemia बोलते हैं इसको. People who regularly smoke or people who smoke a lot, chain smokers, उनके अंदर hemoglobin will assume a very special form called carboxyhemoglobin. They will not only have oxyhemoglobin, they will have carboxyhemoglobin that will be formed with the presence of carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide, especially carbon monoxide. People who smoke a lot, उनके अंदर normally hemoglobin is only supposed to house this thing, right? It's supposed to only house your oxygen. यहाँ पर पेशेंट्स हु हैव और पीपल हु स्मोक अ लॉट, उनके अंदर कार्बोक्सी हेमोग्लोबिन बहुत बनने लगता है, एंड एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ कार्बोक्सी हेमोग्लोबिन your blood or your body essentially is triggering the formation of polycythemia. It is triggering polycythemia in the presence of carboxyhemoglobin. So that is called smoker's polycythemia. Then lastly, another condition called pheochromocytoma. Chromocytoma. Now, this is a very special type of tumor. Pheochromocytoma is a tumor in your adrenal gland, specifically in your adrenal medulla. Pheochromocytoma is a tumor in which your adrenal gland will have a tumor. That tumor produces adrenaline, adrenaline producing tumor. A byproduct of adrenaline or a byproduct of adrenal gland tumor is secondary polycythemia. Okay, so secondary polycythemia is occurring in this pheochromocytoma. It is occurring in Cushing syndrome as well. Okay, both of these are responsible for polycythemia, but in a secondary scenario. Okay, directly नहीं होता. Because of these conditions, the patient will start having polycythemia. All right. Sometimes it might also be in smoking people. ठीक है, smokers के अंदर polycythemia हो सकता है as a secondary condition to carboxyhemoglobin. Now, these are all the conditions. There are more conditions as well, but these are the common ones that will cause increase in hemoglobin levels, diseased conditions that will increase hemoglobin levels. Now, coming to different counts, the RBC, WBC, and platelet counts, how you actually count a patient's RBC, WBC, and the procedures involved in it. We look at RBC first. So let's suppose you go to a diagnostic center and you want to find out your hemoglobin level, and you just get your blood picture done essentially. They will obviously tell you in your blood picture, they'll tell you your hematocrit, they'll tell you your ESR, they'll tell you the amount of RBC, WBC, and platelet present in your blood, they'll tell you the amount of hemoglobin present in your blood, they'll give you a whole chart altogether. Now, how does that occur actually? That we'll see. So let us suppose you are looking at RBC. Now we have already discussed that RBC count, generally men will have about 4.5 to 6 million, 5.56 million per ml RBCs per ml, and women will have somewhere around 4 to 5 million RBCs per ml. Million को आप 10 to power 6 भी ले सकते हैं. Either way, same thing. Now यहाँ पर there are two broad methods to which you can use or you can count the number of RBCs. First is called a visual hemacytometer. Visual हेमासाइटोमीटर, ठीक है, और विजुअल हेमासाइटोमीटर मेथड भी बोलते हैं इसको. देन द नेक्स्ट वन is called electronic method. First method, we'll look at visual hemacytometer. What you do is you take a small portion of the patient's blood. Let's suppose you withdrew 10 ml of blood or 5 ml of blood from the patient. You take a small portion. Let's suppose you're taking half an ml, 0.5 ml ले रहे हैं आप. You will dilute this using a special solution. Sometimes you might use Hyams fluid, या फिर you might use Darcy's fluid. These two are the diluents that are used. ठीक है, Hyams or Darcy's fluid. Either one of them is used, and this blood is diluted up to 200 times. So you will add this solution in such a way that you have 1:200 dilution of blood, meaning one part of blood and 200 parts of this fluid is added. Once you do that, you will, this diluent is responsible, or why you are adding this diluent is because you want to prevent clotting, you want to prevent clumping and rollo formation. Rollos are essentially I'll show you how a Rollo looks. 1 second. इसको बोलते हैं Rollo. So if you can see on the screen, you will be able to see that there are stacks of RBCs that are being formed. Okay, this is because of the clumping effect of formed elements of your blood under whenever you withdraw them, essentially under non-coagulatory conditions. Heparin is one anticoagulant that is normally secreted by the endothelium of your blood. ठीक है, जो blood vessel के अंदर endothelium रहता है, they constantly keep secreting heparin and it just makes sure that clotting does not occur unnecessarily. यहाँ पर as soon as you withdraw blood, that effect is gone, and as a result clumping, clotting, rollo formation, उसको rollo बोलते हैं, ठीक है, ROLEAUX, it's called rollo. That structure is called rollo, will be formed. Okay, now this diluent does not destroy WBCs, keep that in mind. Okay, it will only stop clumping and all, but it does not destroy WBC. And what you do is, after you dilute this, you take a little bit of this fluid in a test tube or in a vertical, how should I put it? You essentially poured a little bit of this fluid onto a sheet like this. ठीक है, ग्लास की शीट रहती है आपके पास, शीट या आपके पास ग्लास का एक छोटा सैम्पल मिलता, उसमें आप डाल सकते हैं. ठीक है, it will be marked in a very special way. All right, that glass sheet will essentially have markings like this. It'll have 1 2 3 4 different areas, and you'll pour a little bit of that fluid into this, and you count the number of cells present in here. आप क्या करते हैं, इसमें फ्लूइड डाल के, डाइल्यूटेड फ्लूइड डाल देके, you will specifically count the amount of or the number of RBCs present in these dense squares that you can see. Now each of these will have 16 squares, and on the whole they have about 25 squares. Okay, see, 1 2, okay, let me use a different pen and this thing. ये देखो, this is 1, I'm not sure whether you can see this or not, 3 4 and 5, then again 1 2 3 4 and 5. Okay, so 25 bigger squares, under them you will again have 16 squares, 4 by 4 रहता है उसके अंदर. ठीक है, now यहाँ पर the point is, once you pour the vertical diluent into it, you will actually put it under an electronic microscope and start counting with your eye. ठीक है, you actually start counting. So this is a very tedious method. पहले बहुत use करते थे. Later on, electronic methods were implemented, wherein you can simply dilute the blood, put it in an electronic machine, and the electronic machine will count it for you. Okay, that is the electronic method. Nowadays, this visual hemacytometer is not used as much. It can be very strenuous to your eye. Okay, and it will take a long time. Think about it. आप dilute करके you have to again multiply it back, because आप dilute करके एक छोटे number of squares में count कर रहे, ऐसा आप हर एक 25 squares को count करना पड़ता. ठीक है, just so make sure that you are getting a proper average. आप एक square में count करके you'll count all the remaining squares. Generally you take 5 6 squares, or sometimes you can take all 25 squares as well. You'll take the average of that, and that is an estimated number, that too, because it is physically very strenuous to count each and every one of them. Think of it this way: you get a lot of samples in a diagnostic center every day. If you spend most of your time just counting for one patient, you will not be able to get your work done. So that is why electronic methods are very, very useful. You can simply put it into an electronic machine, and the machine will count it for you. You put the diluted fluid into the machine, and anticoagulated diluted fluid, and diluted blood with saline, and the electronic machine will count it for you. Now there are a few conditions in which RBCs can be decreased. One is anemia, and any condition that will cause increase in RBC will be called polycythemia. Okay, or erythrocytosis भी बोलते हैं उसको, in a way. Now we have WBCs. See, WBCs are also counted with the same two methods. It's just that the dilution will change a little bit. Specifically, अगर आप visual, same methods, you have visual hemacytometer method, or you have electronic method. Now the only difference here specifically will come at the level of your this thing, visual hemacytometer. आप क्या करते हैं, you when you add the diluent, you will add such a diluent that it will kill RBCs. You do not want to count RBCs along with WBCs. Even though in the RBC method you did not kill WBCs, in this method you will generally kill all the RBCs so that you are only counting the WBCs. And the dilution as well is only 1:20. उसमें 1:200 था ना, इसमें 1:20 रहता dilution. Again, you can visually count it or you can just put it in a electronic method, ठीक है, wherein the scattered light will start counting the number of WBCs present in it. Now, increase in WBC will be called leukocytosis, decrease in WBCs will be called leukocytopenia. Can you give me any conditions in which leukocytosis or cytopenia might occur? Leukocytosis is increase in WBC and leukocytopenia is decrease in WBC. Now that we have completed our pathology of diseases and all, your special pathology है, you should be able to tell at least a few of them. In what conditions will WBC number increase and in what conditions WBC numbers decrease? You never came across a condition in which WBCs were increased or decreased? Think in what conditions will WBC increase? What are WBCs? What are their functions? And in what conditions will WBC number increase?
In leukemia.
Leukemia number increase होता या eating papaya increases or decrease? मैं डिजीज कंडीशंस पे बोल रहा बेटा. अच्छा ठीक है, पपाया से क्या होता, नंबर इंक्रीज होता है या कम होता? और श्रीलक्ष्मी, आई थिंक इट वाज यू, राइट? व्हाट विल हैपन इन ल्यूकीमिया? नंबर इंक्रीज होता है या डिक्रीज होता?
Number will increase.
ओके, that is one condition. Anything else? You guys are missing something very very basic.
Infections.
Yes,
Literature.
whenever you have an infection there will be inflammation and it will involve a lot of WBCs, right? What about decrease in WBCs? When will that happen? If you eat papaya, okay, WBC decrease, so increase. So someone is telling that eating papaya increases WBC. All right. So you are telling this, right? Please send me a little bit of scientific literature behind this. If you can find any papers behind it, published papers, please do send it to me. Any other condition?
In dengue fever, count decreases.
Dengue में WBC count decreases. Okay, good. WBC count decreases or anything else decreases? Are you sure WBC count will decrease?
Platelet count.
हाँ, WBC कम होता. Dengue is an infection in which thrombocytopenia occurs. Is there any evidence showing that this thing, what do you call, WBC number decreases? For now, we'll put it on hold. Any other condition in which WBCs decrease?
Sir, cancer or other bone marrow.
Excuse me.
Cancer.
Cancer. Okay, what kind of cancer? Because leukemia is also a type of cancer, right? You have to be a little more specific. Generally, cancers में number increase होता, कम होने से. You have to be a little specific in which. Malnutrition, yes. Hmm. Malnutrition decreases WBC. Anything else? अच्छा ठीक है, एक काम करो, find out and tell me tomorrow. What are the conditions in which disease conditions in which WBC number decreases? ठीक है. All right. Now coming to platelet count, same two methods are used. You have the same visual hemocytometer method or electronic method. Now, if you come to the count itself, men will generally have about 1.3 to 3 lakhs of, this thing, the platelets present in their blood per ml. Women will have about 1.5 to 3.7. Anyway, these numbers are a little bit skewed. थोड़ा ऊपर थोड़ा नीचे रहता हूँ. In any scenario, you have the same conditions or same methods in which you can count platelets. Dilutions will also be pretty similar, and they play a very important role, platelets, in maintaining homeostasis, and also make sure to make sure that your vascular integrity is intact, that your blood vessels are nice and healthy. If there is any damage, or if there is any hemorrhage occurring somewhere in your blood vessel, these fellows will go and make sure to plug up that hemorrhage. They play a very important role in blood coagulation as well, blood clotting as such. And they live for about 7 to 10 days, not more than 7 to 10 days. Now, coming to the conditions that will abnormally increase or decrease thrombocyte levels, or conditions that cause thrombocytopenia, will be conditions. Whenever you have the word penia, it means decrease. Cytosis means increase. Okay. Now, first of all, coming to conditions that cause a decrease in thrombocyte levels, can any one of you name any? So, इससे पहले someone told dengue. There is that. Anything else? Any conditions in which thrombocytopenia may occur? There are a few drugs that will cause thrombocytopenia. You've studied about those drugs. Achha. So thrombocytopenia itself, the cause of thrombocytopenia can be divided into two different categories. How thrombocyte number decreases. There can be impairment in production. So thrombocytes are not being produced altogether, or there is impairment in the production of thrombocytes, or there is accelerated destruction. So because of whatever cause, there might be accelerated destruction, there might be accelerated damage to the thrombocytes, wherein thrombocytes are being killed. That is one cause, or else there might be improper production of those thrombocytes. The first is, if you look at improper production, there are conditions like leukemias, acute leukemias, aplastic anemia. If cancer generally infiltrates your bone marrow, at that point of time, thrombocytopenia might occur because it will interfere with the normal process of production of thrombocytes. Drugs like chloramphenicol, thiazide diuretics आप लोग नहीं पढ़े. We'll discuss about them when we come across diuretics and antihypertensives. But thiazide diuretics, chloramphenicol आप पढ़े already. What is chloramphenicol? बहुत पहले पढ़े थे अपन ना. This was the first chapter after basic pharmacology or introduction to pharmacology के बाद. Broad spectrum antibiotics याद है? Tetracyclines के साथ पढ़े थे. There is a drug called chloramphenicol that causes gray baby syndrome. Highly toxic drug. Not sure whether you remember it or not, but chloramphenicol is a drug that will cause thrombocytopenia. Certain anti-zylotic drugs, anti-cancer drugs, anti-neoplastic drugs, they can cause thrombocytopenia as well. And chronic alcoholism. Chronic alcoholism has been attributed to damage to your spleen, and ultimately it has been attributed to thrombocytopenia as well. Then coming to conditions where the patient might have accelerated destruction of thrombocytes, wherein the patient's thrombocytes are being destroyed at a very high pace. I'm not sure whether you know these conditions or not. We have SLE, Systemic lupus erythematosus, it's an autoimmune condition. AIDS में होता, lymphocytic leukemia में होता, chronic lymphocytic leukemia, CLL बोलते हैं उसको. If the patient is having DIC, disseminated intravascular coagulopathy, DIC is basically a condition in which the patient will have clots being formed throughout their body. या फिर there are a few drugs like sulfonamides. Sulfonamides will generally destroy WBC, this thing, platelets. Quinine can destroy platelets. Quinine is an anti-malarial drug, or at least quinine say anti-malarial drugs banate. Gold, gold can be, gold therapy is used in certain cancers and all. Oh, gold can destroy this thing, platelets. Sorry, yeah, platelets. If the patient is undergoing transfusion, massive transfusions sometimes might lead to accelerated destruction of platelets, as well as splenomegaly. Splenomegaly has also been attributed to increase in splenic platelet pooling. So what will happen is a lot of platelets will start pooling into your spleen whenever the patient has splenomegaly. Almost 90% of that 90% of the mass of that spleen will be made up of platelet when the patient has splenomegaly, and as a result what will happen is that spleen will essentially kill most of the thrombocytes, leading to thrombocytopenia. Then coming to conditions that will cause thrombocytosis, increase in the number of platelets. You have infection. Obviously, infection के time पे होता, hemorrhage के time पे होता. Whenever the patient is having bleeding, certain cancers can cause increase in platelet levels. After an operation, generally thrombocyte levels will increase as a compensatory mechanism, especially invasive procedures. Let's suppose someone is having an open heart surgery, or if they had a fracture, and let's suppose the doctor performed a surgery on it to place the bone correctly, or whatever, any invasive surgery where you are cutting open a lot of tissue and you are invading quite a lot, uske andar post operatively the patient will have thrombocytosis. If the patient is having splenectomy, if their spleen is being cut off, वो condition में भी thrombocytosis होता. ठीक है. Whenever your spleen is hyperactive or whenever there is splenomegaly, number of RBCs, number of platelets will decrease. The opposite will happen if your spleen is damaged, or you remove your spleen, part of the spleen. That is when thrombocytosis occur. That is why in certain patients who have very severe anemia, certain थोड़े लोगों में क्या करते हैं, they will undergo splenectomy. This is so that more and more RBCs are not destroyed. Now you have to diagnose a condition where the patient's spleen is specifically responsible for killing non-old RBCs as well. Sometimes क्या होता है, spleen will become hyperactive in some patients and it will kill RBCs before 120 days are complete. So in those conditions, performing splenectomy might be helpful. तो वैसा भी रहता. Now there are a few small कुटी conditions that you have already studied about. आप लोगों को bleeding time, clotting time के बारे में पढ़ाए थे? Have you all been taught about bleeding time and clotting time? BTCT. एक छोटा एक्सपेरिमेंट रहता, उंगली को पोक करके you test your bleeding time, test the clotting time of patients. आप लोग क्लिनिकली कभी ये नहीं पढ़ाए BTCT? क्या हुआ रे बाबा, तुम लोगों को हिंदी या इंग्लिश समझ में नहीं आ रही क्या? So simple question, have you all been taught bleeding time, clotting time or not?
No, sir.
You haven't been taught. Okay. Sugar test में देखा था. So see, if we look at bleeding time first, we'll look at bleeding time first. Bleeding time में क्या करते? You are essentially seeing how long it takes for the patient to stop bleeding. So not like physically for them to stop bleeding, how long it takes for their body to arrest bleeding. What you do is you will make sure that the patient's finger is palpitated ठीक है, आप क्या करते हैं, पेशेंट के फिंगर को होल्ड करके you'll use you'll make a small incision essentially. Okay, you will use a needle or something and you'll make a small puncture in their finger. Okay, and what you do is आप एक छोटा sheet of paper ले लेते हैं. Let us suppose this is the sheet of paper and you start marking the time. So let us suppose as soon as you poke the patient, you'll ask the patient to dab that paper. Okay, you'll ask the patient to push their finger against that paper. Let us suppose this is at 0th second. Okay, at 0th second, as soon as you poke the patient, you will ask them to push their finger against a piece of paper. ठीक है, उसको dab करते, not actually push it onto it, they'll just dab the paper with their finger wherever they have poked. ठीक है, then after 30 seconds you will ask them to repeat the process. ठीक है, what will happen is slowly your body will start decreasing the bleeding. तो 30 seconds पे थोड़ा कम होता, then 1 minute. So essentially at 30 seconds interval you will ask the patient to start dabbing the paper. You'll do it for 30 seconds, then 1 hour 1 minute 30 seconds. Let us suppose और छोटा होते जाता अब ये, let us suppose इतना आया, then at 2 minutes let's suppose it became even smaller, this much, then 2.2 minutes 30 seconds, let's suppose it became even smaller, itna chota speck aata. You'll keep repeating this till you see no dab altogether, till you see a clean this thing. When you see a clean paper, that is when you know the last time will be taken. So for example, at the 3rd minute mark, let us suppose at this mark, at 3 minutes mark, you do not see any mark on the paper or you do not see any color of blood on the paper. It means that their bleeding time is 3 minutes. ठीक है, bleeding time में क्या कर रहे हैं, you are checking how long it takes, you are essentially testing their platelet activity through bleeding time. ठीक है, you poke the patient and poke करके आप क्या करते हैं, you will ask them to keep dabbing a paper every 30 seconds. You're essentially seeing how long it takes for their body to clot that hemorrhage, to clot that wound. Normal range for BT is somewhere in between 2 to 7 minutes. Okay, any normal person, for any normal person it should take anywhere in between 2 to 7 minutes. Now this may vary on the size of the incision as well. आप एक बड़ा incision करें और या बहुत बड़ा hole करें तो it will take longer slightly, but generally that is why you use a cannula or you use a small needle. ठीक है, something like a needle, so that it becomes standard. आप एक छोटा needle use करें तो better रहता. Sometimes it might be the patient is having inadequate platelet activity. It might be a vascular contraction is not occurring properly, or both can happen. Some patients might have, sugar, as she told. One patient pointed out that sugar में भी होता. Patients who have diabetes mellitus, उनके अंदर platelet function will be improper and उनके अंदर bleeding time, clotting time दोनों बढ़ के रहता. ठीक है. Thrombocytopenia अगर patient को है, if the patient is on certain drugs, that might lead to increase in BT. या von Willebrand disease है, von Willebrand disease में von Willebrand factor, one of your this thing factors of clotting, though that is not present or it is improperly functioning. Yeah, thrombocytopathy, a patient के thrombocytes are present but they are not working properly, defective thrombocytes. All of these conditions lead to increased BT. Okay, very rarely you see decreased BT. More often than not you'll only see increased bleeding time, more than normal bleeding time. ठीक है, tomorrow I'll explain what is clotting time. So if BTCT नहीं पढ़ा है तो आप लोगों को prothrombin time, blood grouping, RH factors वो पूरा कुछ भी नहीं पढ़ा है. What is RH grouping, blood grouping कैसा करते, agglutinin, agglutinogen reactions, prothrombin time कैसा करते, none of that has been taught to you. ये जनरली एनाटॉमी फिजियोलॉजी लैब में पढ़ाते हैं. अब आप लोगों को लैब हुआ नहीं मालूम मेरे को, प्रैक्टिकल करके दिखाते ही है. छोटे से सिंपल एक्सपेरिमेंट्स है ये, प्रैक्टिकली करे तो बहुत इजीली याद हो जाते. मैं आपको कल बीटी का भी वीडियो बताता हूँ, सीटी का भी वीडियो बताता हूँ. ठीक है.